Welcome to the 359. I'm Alfred, and with me is our fearless intern, Brianne Garrett.
Oh, fearless. I like that.
Well, she put out a feature this morning about the future of wireless charging and where the iPhone 8 could fit in. Now, Samsung and Android have already, implemented this feature if you put it down on a pad. But Brianne, you're making the point in your article that this is not true wireless charging. What is that?
Yeah, it's kind of become a misnomer of sorts. We have two major players, that being Qi and PowerMat, and they really operate using inductive charging rather than true wireless, which means you kind of, put your phone against a base. And your phone's not, connected to a wire, but the base is. So you technically can't call this wireless charging. This is pretty convenient. They have it set up in stores like Starbucks and McDonald's, where you basically just tap your phone onto a circular kind of tablet, as you can see. And it's pretty convenient. It's nice. We actually headed to a Starbucks yesterday and tried it out. I hadn't seen it in person. It's a tad finicky. You kind of have to find the perfect placement to put your phone in order for it to start charging. But once we figured it out, it's nice. But there's definitely a little bit of an inaccuracy in calling it true wireless charging.
Yeah, so with Apple, we kind of have already seen this with their smartwatch and with the AirPods, which also isn't true wireless charging. So with the iPhone 8, do you think that we'll be seeing this as this true wireless charging that everybody's talking about, or do you think it'll just be sticking to the pad and then just put it down?
That's hard to say. There's been some rumors that, Apple has worked with Qi in the past. So people are kind of, guessing that they will work with Qi, which is considered the inductive charging method. But then there's also Energis, which is one of the major power players that have actually started implementing true wireless charging, but not on a consumer level yet. And how this works is through radio frequency. This is kind of new, and people are kind of fearful of it because, things pass through the air. What's going to happen? Is it safe? So there is a little bit of skepticism when it comes to that.
It's a real shocker.
It's a shocker there.
Speaking of, so CNET's road trip series continues, this time taking us all the way to a smart city in Italy. Ian Scher visited a Sicilian city that's about 2,800 years old, but it's trying to bring its tech to modern day. So they've got sensors on pretty much everything. They got them in parking lots. They have them in their trash cans, their bus stops, and they all pretty much talk to each other and your phone. It means you can kind of find parking spots without driving endlessly, a trouble that, I've experienced a lot in New York, or you can, find out what the air quality is like. Brant, what city problems do you hope to see, a smart city be able to solve one day?
There's a lot. I mean, I go back between New York and Boston, and I'd have to say, as much as I love these ride-sharing companies, I am a sucker for when it comes to cabs. And so having a platform where I can, obviously you can catch a cab on the street, but I tend to have problems when it comes to that. So having an app or some sort of system where I can locate where these cabs are and if they're available would save some time. So that would probably be the number one thing I'd like to see.
Yeah, I'm like the complete opposite, where I try to take public transportation as much as I can.
You're better than me.
I know that the MTA in New York is in dire straits right now, and please, if you could just, I know a smart city wouldn't fix it, but I really want to hope that it does.
You never know.
God, there's so many problems with the MTA. Anyway,
and the LIR too.
Yeah, so we're wrapping up today's show with more news from Apple and Qualcomm's legal battles. The U.S. government is getting involved now with the U.S. International Trade Commission, investigating a claim that Apple was illegally using Qualcomm's technology in their iPhone's modem. The investigation could mean that iPhones would be banned from selling in the U.S. Now, this wouldn't be anytime soon. It'd take maybe a couple years before they actually make their decision. But can imagine that, the U.S. without any iPhones being allowed to be sold there?
It's not really imaginable to me at this moment. Maybe, within the next year, something crazy will come out that will, be amazing.
It'd have to be crazy.
Yeah, it'd have to be crazy. It'd have to be. But right now, I see the iPhone going nowhere no time soon.
Well, thanks for listening. If you liked anything you heard today, check us out on CNET. I'm Alfred.
I'm Brianne Garrett.
So I would like to agree with the MTA sentiment.
Yeah. Okay.
/LIRR. Don't forget to add that.
I
in.
never go out to Long Island.
First of all, they need to get it out of the 20th century technology. They're literally not even. They recently only installed Wi-Fi stations, and you only this year was able to use your phone underground. But I mean, more of their issues are functional issues where signal problems and you can't tell unless like you're really far away. All these issues, and I don't know if it's something that a smart city would be able to fix, because like the technology in general is so old there that like literally at 34th Street they use technology from like World War II, and they can't fix it because it's so deeply embedded in there.
Yeah. That being said, I still hate riding the MTA.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are days I flip back and forth between the extremes where I say, you know, I really appreciate that it exists. Where would we be without it? And then there are other days where I want to like find where their home addresses are and see where fate takes me.
I mean, but they have been adding some smart city elements to their buses, though.
True.
The buses have become like Wi-Fi enabled. You can charge your phone on, and you can track where the buses are on like your phone. If you like, it'll tell you what bus stop it's been at stuff. And in certain neighborhoods, I actually saw one 2 days ago. They have like the bus post, and it'll tell you like how many minutes away it is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the one that I was trying to ride it literally had no number on it. It just said like nothing, but it had like lights just passing through it.
That's what I got to wonder is what happens when the minutes away is beyond like the 2.
So I was there with my girlfriend, and I was just saying, you know, this bus goes all the way back to our apartment. Let's just wait for the bus here. We waited like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it still never changed on the thing, even though the bus above it, like it was like 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever.
Yep.
And it got to a point where I was like, I'm just going to see where it is on my phone app. And it was 30 minutes away. And I'm like, that's cool. That's cool that you didn't display it up here on your so-called smart bus stop. That's all right. I'm just going to take the train home now. Thanks, MTA.
All right. We've lamented enough since most of our listeners are not in New York City. We apologize, but it does suck sometimes. And we're just getting it out of our system.
I'm just saying a smart city would be able to fix that. Smart cities are cool, but
if you're in Europe, I have to say I just came back from studying abroad. A+ public transportation systems, definitely.
Just going to rub it in.
I'm going to rub it in, and I'm still not used to being back in New York. Missing Europe.
Let's jump into the chat. First up, Datch. What's up, dude?
Matt Thatcher?
Matthew Datcher, yeah.
Hey.
That's a good eye, but it's actually a belt buckle, not a 45 adapter that's on the desk in front of me. So,
Well, how do you even see that?
There's a camera behind me.
Oh, right. I forgot that you
See?
switch it to that angle.
And then he also goes on, we want to talk about the wireless charging for a little bit. Datch says, hasn't IKEA been making furniture with key charging for a few years now? Is the story with Apple is finally doing it? I'm not sure. I don't know enough about this wireless charging company.
It's like I look at the IKEA catalog like religiously, and this is like a recent development. I saw it like the first time I had seen it was like this year. It was like a cabinet, like a bedside cabinet that you could put your phone on.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How recent was that? Do you know?
I saw it in like maybe like the fall catalog or something.
And it operates in the same method as inductive charging. Do you know how it works?
No, I just know that you put your phone on it and it charges.
So probably.
But yeah, I mean,
thing.
not on the line of IKEA, but definitely with like Samsung and Android devices. All like, yeah, a lot of people have been doing wireless charging for a while now.
Yeah.
This is another case of Apple
wireless charging.
Yeah, like
this
there's another case of Apple just coming out. Hey, like we invented this. Like it's in the same way where Bluetooth headphones have been around for a while, and then out of nowhere, hey, we have the AirPod. Have you guys heard of wireless headphones? Like. Yeah, it's Apple being late to the game and just saying like this was us. What are you talking about? We made this.
Whatever. Collective whatever on all things coming out of that company at this point. Durple Purple wants us to compare, contrast. How fast will it charge? Will it be faster than the Qualcomm Quick Charge? That I do not know because do we have numbers on that yet?
You're not going to match the Qualcomm Quick Charge though, because unless like that charges like ridiculously fast and that's wired. Like.
So I included in my story, we did a CNET test and found that the Galaxy S8 took 3.5 hours to charge inductively compared to a typical 2 hours it would take with a standard USB-C cable. So you're getting a longer charge with the inductive method.
I feel like for now, maybe for like the next like 2-3 years, I generally feel like wired is going to be much faster.
Yeah.
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 Especially not against the quick charge too. Isn't that that's like 30 minutes for like a full charge?
Exactly. This is something you want maybe put it on, sleep, and then wake up and you're good.
I mean, isn't that the whole like idea behind like true wireless charging though, where like even though it doesn't charge really fast, you're literally doing nothing extra to like get it. Like you walk.
Yeah,
in a
you're
room.
sacrificing time for convenience, I guess. Yeah.
I kind of like this idea. Dell has a question. What about the prototype for having a wireless charging modem which charges all devices in the same room? Now that that's a dream come true.
So wait, does it also provide like Wi-Fi or something, or?
No. I think he's referring to it as a modem, as it'd be a centralized hub that charges multiple things, just as you're multiple devices logged into.
Isn't that the idea behind true wireless charging?
Yeah, that's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the point is that you have like this one. Yeah, I guess modem in a sense that
It's a good word for it.
Yeah, modem that's providing charging capabilities through the air, through radio frequency. So it is kind of a concept that it hasn't necessarily been on a consumer level yet, but it has been tested.
I think Disneyland did something like that recently, where it was like a specific room that you could. It was like a test kind of thing where they wanted to do it where people like could go and then just have their phones charged in that room while they like just hang out there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
The only thing with that, if true wireless charging was available, do you realize like how packed like Starbucks would be?
Oh.
But you know what? I haven't.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Because like sometimes like I'll go in a Starbucks just to charge my phone, and if all the seats near the outlets are always taken.
Yeah,
because
that's what you look for.
Yeah. So if there was wireless charging and you don't have to plug in anything, and you also don't have to put it on like a specific pad, like you could just be in the room.
Yeah, they'd have to make you. They'd have like one drink limit or something.
It'd be like a concert. It'd be like a concert.
Yeah. Surprisingly, though, all of these the inductive charging stations, I have yet to see anyone use those.
Yeah,
maybe it's just me, but
I tried one out when I was in Toronto, and my phone I didn't have my charger on me, and it took forever. So I can see that being a big reason why. I can also see, not every phone is compatible with that currently.
Yes, exactly.
Too. So I just don't think the technology is like really there right now.
It's a nice idea.
Let's swing back over to Apple for a second. Michael Brown, sir. Like Apple made mobile payments popular, wireless charging could be like that. Let's take this down to brass tacks here. Apple was kind of ahead of the game on mobile payments.
Yeah,
we'll give them that much.
Yeah. I will say that's kind of the, motive or advantage that Apple has here with a lot of these things is that they don't have to be the first to something. It's like being like the first on a live stream comment section. It really doesn't matter. I mean, it's kind of more like the quality of comments here. But I think it's that sense too. They have a massive user base, and it's much easier for them to adopt it, and they can kind of refine a lot of these.
I was just gonna say, it's also taking something, making it better, than calling it your idea or calling it more unique. Not necessarily you were the first to the game, but you were the best to the game.
Yeah, I think
and that's subjective still.
Of course.
I mean,
it's
I think in technology we've obviously seen that a lot. Like it doesn't matter if you're first; it kind of matters like how many people are using it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like as we've seen with Snapchat and Instagram, where Instagram copied everything that Snapchat did,
and it's doing well.
And it's doing way better because they have a much larger user base.
Yeah, that's true. If Apple does anything, they appease their embedded audience. I almost said inbred audience. Sorry. Sorry.
Okay.
You caught yourself.
I did not mean that. Branching off of that, I love that this comment exists. Svet Slavov says, "Oh my God, the whole Apple sheeple versus Android fanboys is getting ridiculous. It's gotten almost as bad as liberal versus conservative. We have a choice, guys. Whenever companies compete, we, the consumers, win." Thank you for saying that. Actually, sincerely.
Yeah.
We get a lot of, trolls and extremes, and it's just nice to see someone with a level head.
I've always thought it was ridiculous with people taking sides on these things because, like, unless you work for them or are making money off of this, I really don't see why you're such like a warrior for like this company that really has no ties or affiliation to you.
People go hardcore like it's a sports game, like they're at battle.
I mean, that's also how I've always felt about sports, where I'm like, you're not on this team, dude. Like,
I mean, if you got money invested.
Yes.
Yeah. I think sports is a little different, but I get what you're saying.
Swinging back over, Danny Green asks, so speaking of trains and buses, is there an app in the works for more than one city to help you find if your train or bus is on time? And I don't think that's really ever going to be in the cards because every single city's public transit authority is its own private entity. There's no.
I mean, is he talking about like trains and buses between cities? Because
is that what you meant, Danny? You know what? I don't know why I just kind of jumped to that conclusion. That's probably exactly what he meant.
Yeah, I mean, there's apps like like for Amtrak and things like that.
Yeah,
But,
by the business line.
but if he's talking about like an aggregation of like every city's like trains and buses, I think a lot of them they're not really like that advanced yet. I mean, I know New York has theirs. I don't know what it's like in Boston. Like, do you have like an app there to tell you if something's on time? Even in New York, there's no app that tells you if your train is on time. They only have them for
They tell you when your
buses.
train left and when it arrives, but it's not saying, oh, this train is 20 minutes delayed.
Yeah.
I don't really think they have that in Boston either.
And as far as like the aggregation goes between cities, I feel like you'd have to travel to a lot of cities to like have that be useful.
That's true.
Probably.
But
Plenty of people do.
I know they do that for libraries. Like they have an app that aggregates all the libraries and then it tells you like what book is available like,
Yeah,
and all that
that's cool.
stuff.
Oh, that's cool. I did not know that. I'm actually, it's funny you say that. I'm just signed up for my New York Public Library card officially last night.
I think the libraries are having a comeback right now, definitely.
Well, did you see that they announced that the Criterion Collection is going to be
Yes.
available for stream?
I thought that was the Brooklyn Public Library.
It is all New York Public Library.
okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and I'll be honest, that was a mitigating factor in pushing me to finally go and get my
Get
card.
your- yeah.
I
But-
really got my library card after I saw some like idiot comment on Facebook where it was just like, yo, what if they had like a Netflix but for books?
Are you serious?
Like, that's libraries, dude. And I'm like, wait, I should get a library card.
You
Oh my
realize
God, he did
they
not.
exist.
It's like that Wall Street Journal article
That
about
is
millennials
funny.
discovering TV antennas.
Oh my God, you're right. Is there like a free way to get like TV without streaming?
Did you catch his age? How old is he?
Young.
know, young? He's young.
Whatever. Yeah, it was like a shared post. It was like a meme, like screenshot kind of thing.
One more for Michael Brown. We gotta wrap it up here soon. But will wired versus wireless charging matter if there is a place everywhere for wireless charging? For example, restaurants, homes, stores, and etc. So kind of like what you're talking about with the Starbucks scenario.
Like, do you think that like basically wired are gonna go extinct, kind of thing? Like, there's
Oh, I think he's saying, will it matter whether it's wire free or whether it's inductive or whether it's radio frequency?
like you could charge it anywhere. Like, would it even matter?
I think it definitely does because it's just also about the time it takes to charge.
I'm also like, you also got to think about like all the bureaucracy that they're gonna have to
Yeah.
go through to get this everywhere. I mean, like, because it's not really like a major thing right now. It's really not in the on the political like eyes. But like, just think about, now we know that like Wi-Fi is like pretty much everywhere, right? But like, think about all the like hurdles that they had to jump through for, is Wi-Fi like frying your brains kind of thing?
Right.
Like, are these like wave signals like messing you up kind of stuff? Which they're still like arguably like talking about like in Congress. So
Yeah.
I mean,
So imagine if that's taken that long. How long is it going to take for this true wireless charging to kind of make it past the is it safe?
yeah.
Am I scared to use it stage? It's going to be a little bit of time before it's actually, accepted.
Yeah.
Razor goes back to our discussion about Apple fanboys, Android fanboys, sheeple, etc. The issue is that we don't have enough competition. Android and Apple equals not enough competition. Thus, devices remain overpriced for both ends. He's got a point, too. This is a really good discussion. This is a whole episode in itself. We should have just gone on as the
yeah. I mean, a lot of people
Battle
have.
Royale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say there's no competition there. Just, I mean,
I don't know, man. That Nokia 3310 is coming back.
yeah.
Motorola's getting
Okay, but
coming
Motorola's
out.
they're running on Android though.
That's a good point.
That's
but
the thing. There's no OSs like competing with
okay,
them.
that's a good point.
And like BlackBerry tried making their own, and then just decided to jump on Android. And that's the thing. Like, there's all these people saying like, oh well, like this is competition, and but like because Android made their stuff like all open source, it's like it's all pretty much Android versus
They're
Apple.
technically, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's a good point.
All right.
And now I'm just bummed out.
Great way to end.
Yeah, it's probably the time to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody.
All right,
Really, that
let's
was
Take
fun.
them home. If you like what you heard today, the 359 podcast is available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Feedburner, Google Play Music, and of course, CNET.com. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.